What's going on, y'all? It's Theus, and this is going to be an introduction to the stock market, okay? Now, if you've never heard about the stock market and you've been kind of interested in learning more about stocks, hopefully this video helps, all right? Now, the number one question that gets asked before people even start investing is, how do I make money in the stock market, right? And while that's a very important question, one thing that we have to acknowledge even before that is, how does the entire process work, okay? Now, we all know about these big million and billion dollar companies, the Apples, the Amazon, the Facebooks of the world, for the services and products that they provide. Now, what they also do, okay, is allow people to invest in their company. Now, in order to invest in their company, what you do is you buy what we call shares, okay? Now, I named those three companies, obviously, but there's more than just those three, all right? Now, what a share is basically a unit of ownership within a company. Now, every company, all right, has a different price per share. So company A might cost, $10 per share. Company B might cost $40 per share, so on and so forth. And in order to find the actual cost per share or price per share of a company, all you have to do is just literally just Google it, right? So if you just type in Amazon stock, the price will come up and then you go from there, all right? Now, when it comes to shares, sometimes the number of shares that you have in a company isn't as important as the overall equity or the cash value that you have in that specific company, right? So if one person has 10 shares in a company, right, and each share is $1, that means they only have $10 in that company, right? But if you, on the other hand, right, if someone has 10 shares, right, in a company that's $1,000 per share, that means they have $10,000 in that company, okay? So think of it, whenever you start investing, just think of it in terms of shares, and one share is basically a unit of ownership within a company. All right. Now, the first step that you want to take if you really are interested in investing into the stock market is creating a brokerage account. All right. Now, a brokerage account is basically an investment account. They're very, very quick and easy to set up. All you really need is like your name and your social security number and things like that. Okay. They're very simple, like creating a Netflix account, like creating an Instagram account. They really take like 5 minutes or so. Now, there's a lot of different types of investment accounts that you can really choose from, whether it be through Robinhood, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Webull, so on and so forth. So I really encourage you all to make sure that you do your due diligence and your research before deciding which one you want to go with. I'll make sure to create another video that really talks about the different types of brokerage accounts that you can create. But just know that the very, very first step is creating that brokerage account. And you want to make sure, too, that whichever one you decide to go with, that it aligns with what you are interested in. But overall, the most important thing to do is create that brokerage account. And after creating that brokerage account, what they allow you to do is buy and sell, again, what we call shares. All right. Now, when you buy a share, okay, you're anticipating, right, and you're under the belief that the value of the company is going to continue to grow. Okay. You buy something and think that it's going to increase in its value. And after buying a share, you always have the option of selling it, okay? So selling a share is basically you saying, you know what, I no longer want these shares, so I'm going to sell those shares, and now you have your money back, all right? The good thing about investing in the stock market is that it's always yours, you know what I mean? Like when you spend your money, out to eat, and you give your money away, you no longer can get that money back. Okay, but when you invest in the stock market, whether it goes up or down, you still have the opportunity to buy and sell whenever you want. So again, it's really important that you understand that the first part of getting into this, outside of learning and educating about the stock market, all right, is creating that brokerage account. All right, so again, a couple of them where you can start: Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Robinhood, Webull, and again, I highly encourage you all to just, do your research in terms of which one you feel like would be best for you, all right? But just start. At the end of the day, just start, all right? So far we covered about shares, we covered brokerage accounts, and how to buy and really sell shares once you get involved in that company, all right? Now, the second step, all right, that you really want to acknowledge is, why are you investing? Okay, because when you first start investing, I say this for myself as well, when you first start investing, all right, and let's say you're down like $1 the next day. Some people might panic because, oh my goodness, my stock is down or whatever. But if you're in it for the long term, right, you realize that sometimes stuff like that doesn't really matter. So I would encourage you to think about, who are you really investing for, right? Are you investing for yourself? Are you investing for your kids, so on and so forth? But looking at the bigger picture, right? If you look at the majority of charts in terms of like which company do well and things like that, the majority of them do well over the long term. So that's why you really have to ask yourself, why are you investing? Now, there's a difference, okay, between investing and trading, all right? Investing is more for the long term. What people call trading is more for the short term, okay? Now, I'll do another video that kind of explains the two of them. But either way, if you're a beginner, you need to ask yourself before you even get started, before you even make your first investment, why are you investing? All right, now there's no right or wrong answer, but that's just something to think about, okay? And for the record, you all, you can get started with however much. I want to make that very, very clear. I think sometimes when people talk about the stock market, we talk about millionaires and billionaires and people that are making so much money. You can get started with just $5, right? The important thing is just getting started, all right? So we got brokerage accounts up here. We got why are you investing, right? Figuring that out first, or second, I would say. And then third, understand you are the president of your portfolio. You are the CEO of your portfolio. And what I mean by portfolio is, right, is let's say you own stock or you have shares in 5 different companies, okay? That is your portfolio. That's your team, okay? Now, for those of you that, grew up with your parents, right, you realize that when you grew up with your parents made the rules, right? So you had to listen and you had to follow with what they said. When it comes to your portfolio, your stock portfolio, you make the rules, right? You decide when you want to buy or sell. You decide what you want to buy or sell. And again, it doesn't matter if it's $5 or $10. The idea of just getting started and understanding that you are the head honcho. You make all the decisions. You run it. All right. Don't let anyone tell you what to buy or sell without doing your own research. And again, there's certain things that I'm talking about that I'll dive more deep into in other videos. But again, just for the sake of educating beginners, and if you have no idea what the stock market is, this is really what it's for. Understanding that you make all the decisions when it comes to your portfolio. So again, creating a brokerage account, okay? Ask yourself why you're investing. Understanding that you are the CEO and president of your portfolio, okay? Now again, for the record, there's a lot of things that kind of go into investing, but just to make it as simple as possible and understanding what one share is. And another thing too about shares and buying and selling shares is that if a company, right, is $3,000 per share, right? You don't need the full $3,000 to invest in that company, okay? I'm going to say that again. If a company is $3,000 per share, you do not need the full $3,000, okay, in order to invest in a company. Now, I'll dive more into that statement in other videos, but I just want to make that very, very clear because I think a lot of times people will see the price per share and get scared with that, okay? But I'll dive into that more into another video, all right? Fourth, the importance of time, right? I've said this often enough. It's just important to get started, all right? When you look at the long term, right, the sooner you get started investing, the better, all right? And continue to make sure that you increase your knowledge and learn as much as you can about the stock market and things of that nature. But I cannot stress the importance of time enough, okay? Because as we all know, time is the one commodity in life that you cannot get back, okay? No matter how hard you try, no matter how smart you are, no matter how much money you have, you cannot get time back. So it's important to start, okay? So far, again, brokerage accounts. We got why are you investing? We got you're the president and CEO of your portfolio, all right? Fourth is the importance of time. And then fifth, this might be my most favorite one, all right? So we explained kind of the intro to the stock market, right? And the idea of, it's very simple, buying shares and selling shares. I don't want to make it too complicated for anyone, all right? But this last one, take action. Okay, now that you watched this video, hopefully it helped you kind of learn more about it in really a basic terms. But take action. Okay, I encourage you all, if you're watching this video today, just create a brokerage account. Just start there. Just browse. No, excuse me. Before you create that brokerage account, like I said, do your research on the different ones. Again, Robinhood, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, like so many of them out there. Just make sure you do your research. Take action. As much as I want to, people to learn and be educated about this, at the end of the day, you have to take action. Let this be a sign for you to really create that brokerage account and ask yourself why you're investing and understand why you're the president of your portfolio and then understanding the importance of time. All right. And another thing too with the importance of time, regardless of your age. Okay. Again, if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever. Okay. Just get started and take action. Okay. So I challenge you all. This is the last word I want to have on here. I challenge you all to do your research and create a brokerage account. All right. Now, I will plug this in and I will say this. I have a Robinhood account. If you all decide to do, again, sign up with that specific brokerage account, there will be a link in my bio for you to, or excuse me, a link in this description that'll allow you to sign up, and you'll receive a free stock. Okay, just by signing up and things like that, you receive a free stock through Robinhood. Or another one is M1 Finance. Okay, that's another brokerage account that you can really look into. All right, so I have a course, you all. Again, if you're interested, I'll leave that link in this bio as well. But overall, a quick summary of an intro to the stock market is really understanding what shares are, all right? And understand that every company, okay, has a different price per share. It doesn't matter what it is. Once you Google it, again, I promise you, it takes 2 seconds to Google the price per share, okay? And all these brokerage accounts will have the price listed for you, okay? And once you figure out what the price is, you then, regardless of however much money you have, okay, whatever your capital is to get started, you have the ability to invest in these companies, okay? Now, again, moving forward in more of these videos that I continue to do, I'll talk more, again, about the specific brokerage accounts, you know, what you might feel is a good number to get started in investing. But either way, you all, this idea of just getting started, I can't stress that enough. And if you decide not to invest in the stock market today, just make sure that you continue to learn about it as much as you can, because it's a good opportunity that allows your money to grow. And again, I will say this and emphasize this as much as I can. You do not need much to get started, okay? You can get started with less money than you might spend at a meal at McDonald's. In all seriousness now, okay? So $5 will allow you to get started in the stock market. Again, a share, buying and selling shares. A share is a unit of ownership within a company. Every company has a different price per share, all right? And if you're interested in getting started, just create that brokerage account, do your research, and things like that. Like I said, if you would like to sign up with an account on Robinhood, there's a link in my description below. And if you would like to check out my course, there's also going to be a link in this description below called Stock Market University. So that being said, hopefully this video helped you all understand like what the stock market is and how to really get started investing. And with that being said, you know, y'all stay blessed.